According to the National Electrical Code, it is not legal to install an electrical service panel in a stairwell. Article 110.26F states that electrical equipment shall not be installed in a stairway. Article 110.26G states that electrical equipment shall not be installed in or on the floor of an attic. Article 230.70 requires that the service panel be installed in an accessible location. There are several reasons for this prohibition. Firstly, safety hazards. Stairwells are required to be kept clear of obstructions in case of an emergency evacuation. An electric service panel in a stairwell could block the path of escape or hinder firefighting efforts. Secondly, electrical hazards. The high currents and voltages associated with electrical service panels could pose a serious electrical hazard to individuals in the stairwell. Thirdly, maintenance and accessibility. Service panels require regular inspection and maintenance, which would be difficult or dangerous in a stairwell. Acceptable locations for service panels include firstly, a dedicated electrical room or utility area, secondly, on an exterior wall outside the building, and thirdly, in a garage or basement, provided it meets the accessibility and safety requirements of the NEC. The NEC prioritizes safety and accessibility in electrical installations. Placing electrical equipment in stairwells introduces significant risks during emergencies, impedes firefighting efforts, and creates potential electrical hazards for occupants. Regular inspection and maintenance of service panels are crucial for ensuring their safe and reliable operation. Stairwells, due to their inherent limitations and potential for obstruction, do not provide a suitable environment for these activities. Therefore, the NEC prohibits such installations to safeguard individuals and maintain the integrity of electrical systems. In addition to the direct prohibitions outlined in the NEC, there are several underlying principles that contribute to this restriction. One key consideration is the principle of maintaining clear egress pathways. Stairwells serve as critical escape routes during fires or other emergencies. Obstructions within these pathways can significantly impede evacuation efforts, increasing the risk of injury or even death. An electrical service panel, with its size and potential for creating physical barriers, poses a clear obstruction hazard. Another principle is the importance of minimizing electrical hazards in areas frequented by the public. Stairwells are often used by a diverse range of individuals, including residents, visitors, and maintenance personnel. Placing high-voltage electrical equipment in these areas increases the likelihood of accidental contact or exposure to electrical hazards. The NEC seeks to mitigate this risk by restricting the installation of service panels in such locations. Furthermore, the NEC emphasizes the need for proper ventilation and environmental control for electrical equipment. Service panels generate heat during operation, and inadequate ventilation can lead to overheating and potential equipment failure. Stairwells, which may lack proper ventilation systems, are not conducive to maintaining optimal operating conditions for electrical panels. The accessibility requirements outlined in the NEC also play a significant role in this prohibition. Service panels must be readily accessible for inspection, maintenance, and repairs. Stairwells, with their limited space and potential for obstruction, may not provide the necessary access for qualified personnel to perform these tasks safely and efficiently. In summary, the NEC prohibits the installation of electrical service panels in stairwells due to a combination of safety, accessibility, and environmental concerns. This restriction is intended to protect individuals from electrical hazards, maintain clear egress pathways, and ensure the proper operation and maintenance of electrical equipment. By adhering to these regulations, we can create safer and more reliable electrical systems for all occupants. The NEC guidelines are not arbitrary rules, but rather carefully considered measures designed to minimize risks and promote electrical safety. Understanding the rationale behind these regulations is crucial for ensuring compliance and preventing potential hazards. In addition to the specific articles mentioned previously, other sections of the NEC may also be relevant to this discussion. For example, Article 110.26 addresses workspace requirements around electrical equipment. This article specifies minimum clearances and working spaces that must be maintained around service panels to allow for safe and effective maintenance and repairs. Stairwells often lack the necessary space to meet these requirements, further reinforcing the prohibition against installing service panels in these locations. Furthermore, Article 408 provides detailed requirements for switchboards and paddleboards, including their location, installation, and protection. These requirements are designed to ensure the safe and reliable operation of these critical components of the electrical system. Installing a service panel in a stairwell could potentially violate several of these requirements, further highlighting the importance of adhering to the NEC guidelines. It is also important to consider the potential impact of local building codes and regulations. While the NEC provides a national standard for electrical safety, local jurisdictions may have additional requirements or restrictions that further limit the installation of electrical equipment in stairwells. Therefore, it is essential to consult with local authorities and obtain all necessary permits before undertaking any electrical work. Failure to comply with local building codes can result in fines, penalties, and even the removal of non-compliant installations. In addition to the code-related considerations, there are also practical reasons why installing a service panel in a stairwell is generally not a good idea. Stairwells are often high-traffic areas, and the presence of an electrical panel could create a tripping hazard or other safety risks. Furthermore, stairwells may be subject to moisture or other environmental factors that could damage the electrical equipment. Therefore, even if it were technically permissible under the NEC to install a service panel in a stairwell, it would likely be a poor choice from a practical standpoint. In conclusion, the NEC clearly prohibits the installation of electrical service panels in stairwells due to a combination of safety, accessibility, and environmental concerns. This prohibition is intended to protect individuals from electrical hazards, maintain clear egress pathways, and ensure the proper operation and maintenance of electrical equipment. By adhering to the NEC guidelines and consulting with local authorities, we can create safer and more reliable electrical systems for all occupants. Remember that electrical work should always be performed by qualified professionals who are familiar with the NEC and local building codes. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training and experience can be extremely dangerous and could result in serious injury or even death. Always prioritize safety and consult with experts before undertaking any electrical project. The National Electrical Code is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay current with the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical installations comply with the most up-to-date safety standards. You can purchase copies of the NEC from various sources, including the National Fire Protection Association, which is the organization that publishes the code. You can also find information about the NEC online, but be sure to consult official sources to ensure that the information is accurate and reliable. When in doubt, always consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer to ensure that your electrical installations meet all applicable requirements. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and guidelines that may be relevant to electrical installations in stairwells. For example, the Americans with Disabilities Act ADA sets requirements for accessibility in buildings and facilities. These requirements may affect the placement of electrical equipment in stairwells to ensure that they are accessible to individuals with disabilities. It is important to be aware of these requirements and to ensure that your electrical installations comply with all applicable standards. Furthermore, it is important to consider the potential impact of future changes to the NEC and other applicable standards. Electrical codes and regulations are constantly evolving, and it is important to stay informed about these changes to ensure that your electrical installations remain compliant. You can subscribe to industry publications, attend training courses, and consult with experts to stay up to date on the latest developments in electrical safety. By taking these steps, you can help to ensure that your electrical installations are safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable requirements. Remember that electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone has a role to play in preventing electrical hazards and ensuring the safety of our homes, workplaces, and communities. By educating ourselves about electrical safety and following the guidelines outlined in the NEC and other applicable standards, we can all contribute to creating a safer environment for ourselves and others. In addition to the technical aspects of electrical installations, it is also important to consider the human element. Electrical accidents are often caused by human error, such as carelessness, negligence, or lack of training. Therefore, it is essential to promote a culture of safety in all electrical work. This includes providing adequate training to electrical workers, implementing safety procedures, and enforcing strict adherence to safety regulations. By fostering a culture of safety, we can reduce the risk of electrical accidents and protect the health and well-being of electrical workers and the public. Finally, it is important to remember that electrical safety is not just about compliance with codes and regulations. It is about protecting human lives and preventing property damage. By taking a proactive approach to electrical safety and prioritizing safety in all electrical work, we can create a safer and more secure environment for everyone. The information provided here is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with qualified professionals before undertaking any electrical work. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from harm. Always turn off the power before working on electrical circuits, and never work on electrical equipment while standing in water or on a wet surface. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. Your safety is paramount. The prohibition of electrical panels in stairwells is a critical safety measure that underscores the importance of clear evacuation routes and minimizing potential hazards in emergency situations. Stairwells are designed to facilitate swift and unimpeded egress from buildings during fires, natural disasters, or other emergencies. Obstructing these pathways with electrical equipment, regardless of its protective casing, compromises their effectiveness and increases the risk of injury or even loss of life. In the event of a fire, for instance, smoke and flames can quickly engulf stairwells, making visibility limited and navigation challenging. An electrical panel in such an environment becomes a significant obstacle, potentially hindering firefighters' access and delaying evacuation efforts. Furthermore, the presence of electrical equipment introduces the risk of electrical shock or arcing, which can further endanger individuals attempting to escape. Beyond the immediate dangers posed during emergencies, electrical panels and stairwells also present long-term maintenance and accessibility concerns. Service panels require periodic inspection, testing, and repairs to ensure their continued safe and reliable operation. Placing them in stairwells, which are often confined spaces with limited access, makes these tasks more difficult and potentially hazardous for qualified technicians. In addition, the presence of electrical equipment in stairwells can impede routine cleaning and maintenance activities, potentially leading to the accumulation of dust, debris, and other materials that can create fire hazards or compromise the overall hygiene of the space. The National Electrical Code's restrictions on electrical equipment in stairwells reflect a comprehensive approach to safety that considers both immediate emergency situations and long-term operational factors. By adhering to these regulations, building owners and electrical contractors can ensure that stairwells remain clear, accessible, and safe for all occupants. The NEC also promotes alternative locations for electrical panels that prioritize safety and accessibility. Dedicated electrical rooms or utility areas provide controlled environments for housing electrical equipment, with ample space for maintenance and repairs. Exterior walls offer another viable option, allowing for easy access from outside the building without obstructing interior pathways. Garages and basements can also be suitable, provided they meet specific requirements for accessibility, ventilation, and protection from moisture and other environmental factors. Choosing the right location for electrical panels is crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. Building owners and electrical contractors should carefully consider the factors outlined in the NEC and consult with qualified electrical inspectors to determine the most appropriate placement for electrical equipment in their buildings. By prioritizing safety and adhering to the NEC guidelines, they can create safer and more secure environments for all occupants.